Floor finish is used to protect vulnerable floor surfaces from damage caused by foot traffic, transportation of freight, or other forms of wear and tear. Damage may result in discoloration, buildup around the edges, scratches, or gouges. Sometimes these issues can be resolved through a deep scrub and recoat process. However, if this no longer produces the required shine, stripping and recoating the floor is necessary. To strip the floor, follow these steps. First, assemble your equipment and supplies. Then, put on appropriate personal protective equipment as stated on the product label and SDS. Remove freestanding objects. Vacuum and remove mats. Dust mop the area. As you dust mop, note any potential problem areas that need additional attention later. Use a putty knife to remove gum or debris stuck to the floor. Be careful, do not gouge the floor with the putty knife. Next, post wet floor signs and other blockades. Be sure to use several signs to indicate the floor area being stripped. It is also helpful to rope or tape off the area. Prepare your stripping solution. Mix stripper according to label directions. Too much or too little stripper solution will result in the product being less effective. Use cold water when mixing stripping solution. Hot water increases odor and flashes off key ingredients that emulsify the floor finish. If an autoscrubber is available, fill it with cold water. Do not add detergent. The autoscrubber will be used to rinse. Apply Power Foam Bravo foaming stripper to baseboards if necessary. Allow the solution to dwell according to label directions. Do not overspray on wallpaper or uncoated floor. This procedure should be done before the floors are stripped. When finished, rinse and wipe the baseboards dry. Install absorbent material such as Zorba to keep stripper from flowing under doorways. Liberally apply stripping solution to the floor. Dip the mop into the stripping solution and lightly press in the wringer. Do not over-wring. Deliver plenty of stripping solution to the floor. Outline a manageable working area. Typically this is a 10 by 10 foot area. Apply stripper in an overlapping pattern. Be sure to apply solution to corners and along edges. Do not let the stripper flow under closed doors or onto nearby carpets. With tougher floor areas, such as those with grouted tile or heavy buildup, you may need to work in smaller areas and use a stripping brush. Allow the stripping solution to dwell for the recommended amount of time according to label directions. Do not allow the stripper to dry. Apply additional solution to keep the floor wet. Use an edging tool to loosen old finish close to the baseboards and in the corners. Agitate the floor with the rotary floor machine after you've given the stripping solution time to work. If an autoscrubber is being used, be sure to use the appropriate pads recommended by the tile manufacturer. Mount stripping pads on your autoscrubber. Start scrubbing after you've given the stripping solution time to work. Make a pass over the stripping solution with pads or brushes down and scrubbing, solution valve half open, squeegee up, vacuum off. Next, check your progress. Wipe slurry away from a sample area. If the floor underneath doesn't feel sticky, you're ready to rinse. If finish remains, apply more stripping solution and increase dwell time. Be sure not to let the floor dry. Rinse the floor with water and pick up the slurry. Use a floor squeegee to manage the slurry. Collect the slurry with a wet vac or a mop and bucket. If an autoscrubber is being used, scrub with brushes or pads down and scrubbing, squeegee down, vacuum on. Before rinsing the floor, change to clean pads or rinse your brushes. Rinse the floor with clean water before the floor dries. Use clean, cool rinse water and damp mop. Mop the floor with a figure 8 pattern to rinse the entire floor. Clean your floor squeegee and use it to pull rinse water away from furniture and carpets. If using an autoscrubber, apply water and scrub to rinse. Scrub with brushes or pads down and scrubbing. Squeegee down, vacuum on, solution valve on. When the floor is dry, check your work. Be sure that all stripper residue has been removed. Be sure to wear safety gloves when checking the floor. Run your hand over the floor. If there is residue on your gloves, you must rinse again. Continue to rinse until there is no foam in the rinse water and no residue on the floor. Clean your equipment and return it to its appropriate area. Wash and rinse pads, brushes, buckets, squeegees, and other tools before they dry out. Launder or wash mops and hang to dry. If using an autoscrubber, clean and return to appropriate area. Wash and rinse pads, brushes, and squeegee. Rinse the autoscrubber recovery system and tank. Rinse under the autoscrubber. Wash stripper off the tires. Clean your shoes, clothes, and hands. Always remove and launder any soiled clothes. Floor stripping tips. Never use masking tape to mark the edges for stripping. Instead, use blue painter's tape to avoid leaving adhesive on the floor. When stripping near walls and edges, move the single disc floor machine from right to left to avoid splashing baseboards. If stripping solution splashes onto baseboards or kick plates, wipe off immediately with rinse mop or an absorbent cloth to avoid leaving splash marks. Important: the floor must now be sealed or finished before traffic is allowed to enter. Strip floors are sensitive to soils and scratches. Finish the clean surface before new soils can arrive.